My grandpa died from smoking, so I quit cold turkey and almost broke at 3 a.m. At my grandpa's funeral, they lowered his coffin into the ground, and his old oxygen tank sat nearby, like it was part of the service. He'd smoked for decades and spent his last years fighting for every breath. I was 34, and I'd been smoking 2 packs a day since high school. Standing there in the rain, I realized I was walking toward the same ending. Grandpa used to be my hero, a tough Marine who could build anything and take me fishing. But near the end, he was thin, tired, and always attached to that tank. On my last visit, he grabbed my arm and whispered, "Don't end up like me. Promise me." I nodded, then walked outside and lit a cigarette anyway. That hypocrisy hit me hard at the funeral. I pulled out my pack and crushed it in my fist until it split. My sister saw me do it and just stared, like she didn't know who I was anymore. That night, I went home and flushed every cigarette I had. I threw out lighters, ashtrays, everything that smelled like smoke. I told myself it had to be a clean break. By the next morning, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. My head felt tight. My mouth kept searching for a cigarette that wasn't there. At work, I tried to act normal, but my leg bounced under the table and sweat ran down my back. My boss pulled me aside and said, "You look awful. Go home." I didn't argue. I was scared she could tell what was happening. At home, my roommate took one look at me and backed up. "Dude, are you sick?" "I've got finals," he said. "I quit smoking," I said, pacing in circles. He laughed. "Cold turkey? No way. You're going to lose it." I wanted to yell at him, but I knew he wasn't wrong. Day 1 dragged. Every hour felt long. I kept patting my pockets, then getting mad when they were empty. I tried chewing gum. I tried showering. I tried holding ice in my hands. Nothing shut my brain up. That night, I barely slept. I kept waking up with my heart racing, like my body forgot how to relax without nicotine. Day 2 was worse. A headache settled behind my eyes and wouldn't leave. Food tasted like paper. Coffee made me jittery, but not drinking it made me angry. At work, a coworker asked me a simple question, and I snapped at her. Her face fell, and I felt ashamed, but my nerves were on fire. On my break, I stood in the spot where everyone smoked and just stared at the empty air. My fingers kept doing the old motions. That night, the nightmares started. In one dream, I woke up sure my lungs were filling with concrete, and I sat up gasping, clawing at my chest. Day 3 felt like my skin didn't fit right. I couldn't sit still. My stomach rolled. I got chills, then hot flashes. My roommate told me to stop pacing because it was making him anxious. I tried, and I lasted maybe 30 seconds. That evening, I tore through my place. Sure, I'd missed one cigarette somewhere. I checked coat pockets, desk drawers, even the junk drawer with batteries and old receipts. In my car, I popped open the center console and found one lonely cigarette stuck to the bottom. For a second, I just held it, staring at it like it was a lifeline. My hands were slick with sweat. Then I snapped it in half, tossed it in a cup of water, and sat there shaking, mad at myself for even wanting it. That afternoon, my sister texted, "How are you doing?" I hadn't told her I was quitting, but she'd seen me crush the pack at the grave. I typed back, "Still not smoking." She replied, "One day at a time. Grandpa would be proud." My throat tightened, and for a second, I wanted to cry. Then the craving slammed back in. I stared at my phone, then at the clock, just trying to make it to morning without driving anywhere. Day 4 was the closest I came to breaking. At 3 a.m., I woke up with one clear thought: go buy cigarettes. I didn't even put on real clothes. I grabbed my keys, drove to a 24-hour gas station, and pulled under the bright lights. I sat there with the engine running, staring at the door, telling myself I'd just buy a pack and figure it out later. A teenager behind the counter looked up from his phone and watched me through the glass. I got out, walked to the door, and wrapped my hand around the handle. I could already taste